Hello, I'm Cindy Syrian with Community Medical Centers. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Community MedWatch. Tonight, your future can change in a heartbeat when it comes to a life-threatening heart attack. Having state-of-the-art facilities and physicians waiting at a moment's notice can make the difference between life or death. Here's how a man's future, donor-investor contributions to new leading-edge facilities at Community Regional Medical Center, and a highly trained clinical staff came together in a heartfelt moment. Hear this Fresno man tell how the emergency medicine team at Community Regional put lots of heart into his rescue.
2 years ago, Nick Iovino, longtime City of Fresno Director of Planning and Development, was at home with his wife Lois.
I had been just working around the house, and I had some chest pains and they were very minor, very shallow.
Nick mentioned his pain to Lois.
Then the chest pains got a little bit stronger, but I thought it was just a muscle spasm. So fortunately, she gave me 3 aspirin.
They both thought the pain would go away, but it didn't. It just got worse.
And then she called the paramedics, and that's when they knew I needed to get to the hospital right away.
At Community Regional's emergency department, registered nurse Bruce Eliason had worked a little over a shift.
Ambulance backed out with their lights on, unannounced. I opened the back doors and found Nick to be in cardiac arrest. Nick was quickly moved into the emergency room, where I was part of a team that worked on him for about an hour and a half.
Nick's heart stopped several times, and each time Bruce refused to give up. Bruce and the emergency medical team stabilized Nick enough to move him for treatment.
Nick was then transported to the cath lab, where we were able to open up a closed artery that was causing his heart to continue to stop and start.
Faced with a possible heart transplant, Nick was transported to San Francisco soon after his life-saving procedure. The next few months were tough, but Nick recovered without a transplant with the help of family and friends.
People have called it a miracle. To me, what I call it is just the fact that there were the right people here at the right time for me, who made the right decisions together to keep me alive. That's why I'm here.
Something happened that night that I honestly to this day don't know, but I was able to pull out everything that I've learned, everything I've been trained on in the past 20 years, and it all culminated that night in making an effort to save Nick's life.
There was a very concerted effort to try to match up the architecture of this new building.
As Director of Planning and Development for the City of Fresno, Nick had a hand in Community Regional's planning over the years.
For me, this is very, I say ironic, but also very special that I'm born here. I work 2 blocks away. I'm involved with the hospital's building program as part of a team or a group, and you know, right at the time the new facility was opening, I needed it very badly, and it was here, and the people were all here, and that's why I'm alive today. I want to always emphasize that the building and the equipment, they provided the means, but what saved my life were the people here, the technicians, the nurses, the doctors. They saved my life.
He now thanks those donor investors who made this great academic regional medical center a reality.
I would say thank you very much, and I would remind them that, and they know this, but I think it's good for a person like me to remind them that the money builds the buildings, but the money in the end saves lives. It saved my life, and it saved a lot of people's lives, and will in the future. So I would say thank you, and I'm here, and a lot of people are here, and we'll be here because of those donations.
This fall, Nick invited Bruce and his wife to sit at his table at his retirement party.
Well, there's someone at my table I want to introduce. I want to have him stand up. His name is Bruce Eliason. Bruce, will you please stand up, please? Please look at Bruce. Most of you do not know Bruce. In fact, very few of you know Bruce. Maybe 2 or 3 of us know Bruce. But we all have something very much in common with Bruce tonight, and that is that if it wasn't for Bruce, none of us would be here tonight.
I would have to say that was one of the most emotional moments in my life.
January 2007, Bruce was a cardio emergency nurse at Community Hospital who just happened to be working late one night, when I rolled in. And Bruce made a decision. He said, this guy is not going to die. And because he made that decision, we're all here tonight. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for letting me be here. Thank you.
You too can make a difference for your community. Donations or investments, small and large, make the difference in building the best facilities and recruiting top physicians to our valley. And like Nick, the very life that's saved could be your own.